Hi, it's Maureen Muldoon, Lesson 17 with A Course in Miracles. I see no neutral things. So this is an extension of our last lesson, which I have no neutral thoughts. And today, because we have no neutral thoughts, we see no neutral things. Everything that we see, we give meaning to. And we want to begin to lay down our judgments and our discernments and our, decisions and our definitions of what is, so that we can just receive the information of what. 17. I see no neutral things. This idea is another step in the direction of identifying cause and effect as it really operates in the world. You see no neutral things because you have no neutral thoughts. It is always the thoughts that come first. It is always the thoughts that come first, despite the temptation to believe that it is the other way around. It is always the thoughts that come first. This is not the way the world thinks, but you must learn that it is the way you think. If it were not so, perception would have no cause and would itself be the cause of reality. In view of this highly variable nature, it is hardly likely. In applying today's idea, say to yourself with eyes open, I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. So you'll do that for like 30 seconds or a minute. I see no neutral things because I have no neutral thoughts. Then look about you, resting your glance on each thing you note long enough to say, I don't see a neutral blank because my thoughts about blank are not neutral. So an example would be, I don't see a neutral picture of my dad because my thoughts about my dad are not neutral. I don't see a neutral drum because my thoughts about drums are not neutral. I don't see a neutral couch because my thoughts about couches are not neutral. For example, in the book it says, for example, you might say, I don't see a neutral wall because my thoughts about walls are not neutral. I don't see a neutral body because my thoughts about bodies are not neutral. As usual, it's essential to make no distinctions between what you believe to be animated or inanimated, pleasant or unpleasant. Regardless of what you may believe, you do not see anything that is really alive or really joyous. This is because you are unaware as yet of any thought that is really true and therefore really happy. 3 or 4 specific practice periods are recommended, and no less than 3 are required for a maximum benefit. Even if you experience resistance, however, if you do, the length of the practice period may be reduced to less than a minute or so than what is otherwise recommended. So I see no neutral things. Everything that I see, I have given a definition or a value or a distinction. And what can assist us in this lesson is that we don't know what anything is for. And again, the ego might want to kick up about that, but we don't know what anything is for. Perception comes from the thoughts that I think with ego. So if I allow myself to say, I don't know what anything is for and I see no neutral things, I can start to see the thoughts that I've placed on everything. And I can start to step back a little bit and let those thoughts be unraveled as ridiculousness. And I can let the things that I see begin to reveal themselves, and I can begin to be present with them. The process is slow, and yet the process is perfect. We have to slow down to receive what is. We have to slow down to be in this present moment and experience what is. And this is what this lesson is assisting us in doing, is to simply slow down and really notice all of the thinking and all of the judgments and all of the unneutral thoughts that we're having. We're consistently thinking these thoughts, these separate thoughts that are summing things up left and right. So we're being asked to lay all of this down slowly so that the ego doesn't get too freaked out. We're going to do it slowly. A little faith can go a long way today with today's lessons. And the wonderful thing about today's lesson is that it is actively asking or inviting us to move into the mystery of God. You know, when we come to anything and say, oh, I know that, or I know this, you know, we sum it all up. Oh, I got that. I know him. I know what she's going to say. I know how this is going to go. We are no longer in the mystery of God. We are in the plans of the ego. But if we say, I don't know what anything is for, I'm going to see this person as new. I'm going to see this thing as new. I'm going to see, you know, this situation as new without my judgments of it. Then what comes to us is the mystery of God, which is quite spectacular. We allow ourselves to be still enough to witness it. Lesson 17. Enjoy it. Practice it. And I'll see you tomorrow.
It's not that unusual.